Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, the phenomenal one. No, not AJ Styles, but it is I, your phenomenal tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Tuesday evening video. And it's Tuesday night, well, Tuesday evening, getting close to Tuesday night. You know what that means? We got NXT coming up at the top of the hour on the great station of the CW11. Should be a decent show tonight. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. We got Creepy Girl Tatum Paxley defending her Women's North American title against, well, the metal chick, Lizzie Rain. That should be interesting. Shiloh has a big match tonight. My boy Shiloh. See what happens with that. And a whole lot more on your 2-hour cure for insomnia. And that's NXT 3.0. But we got that. It feels like 3.0. Because you got all the rookies there now, except for, you got all the rookies, and then you got, Lola Vice, Issy, and you got my cousin, Tony D. He's getting ready for whatever he's doing tonight. He's gonna, then, Salvatore is gonna be cooking me and the missus up a nice big plate of spaghetti and meatballs, and I only have to pay $2! You probably have to pay $10.50 for that shit. So, because you don't have a cousin like Tony D. Ha! So, it is what it is. But NXT should be a decent show. We'll see what happens tonight on NXT. But thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demon 669. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants with my mighty meatballs. And it's mighty big too. Huge, mighty spicy meatballs. But subscribe to my channels all down below in the description box, in my pants. And that's pretty much it. Share the video all over the internet. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, now, and in the present, in the future Conan. But all these stupid comments you get sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten severely with a spatula. And then Ozzy and Satan will just kick your ass even more, and then eat your soul. So don't do it. Go do it somewhere else. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss it. Because if you miss it, you're going to get slapped like a biatch. Because that's what you deserve, because you are biatches. And you don't hit that bell, you're missing everything. And you're SOL. You know what that means. And if you don't know, you might get slapped again. And that's pretty much it. So, like, share, subscribe. All that other good shit. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the goddamn party, pal. We hope and pray you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab a big, tasty, cold one, and enjoy the show. Because it's right here, baby, right? It is off camera, but it's like right next to me. It's not like I don't know, like, go over there! It's like right, basically, right next to my mouse. So, my cursor mouse. You know what it is. Next to my keyboard. That's where it is. That's where it's always been. But I digress on that. So sit back, relax, grab your own tasty cold one, put your feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, get the fuck out of here, suck my dick, and do something else. Do something else! Do something else! And that's that. Enough about that. Alright. Happy Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. May the 19th. Ah! Here comes Kane! No. Kane's not going to come out and kick my ass, but it is May the 19th, Katie Vick's birthday, so happy birthday to that grotesque bitch named Katie Vick. So, we got that. But I hope you had a great Tuesday. It was hot here in New York City today, 95. You gotta love that. Tomorrow's going to be around 90, but we're going to get some thunder boomers in the afternoon, early in the evening. Gotta cool it off really quickly. So that 90, 89, I think we're gonna be about 92, 93 tomorrow. Down the drain by the time we hit this time. It'd be like around 60 something degrees, 67 degrees maybe. It's gonna cool down, and then, well, not a great Memorial Day weekend here in New York City. On and off rain, pretty much all through the weekend and most of next week. So here in New York City, not a great Memorial Day weekend to go to the beach or pretty much do anything except watch some wrestling. But, you know, because we got Double or Nothing in New York City at, not Arthur Ashe Hall Stadium, with Louis Armstrong Stadium. I can't even do his fucking impression. But Louis Armstrong Stadium, you know, in the tennis center, with a, you know, right across the street from the Mets. So, not the Mets are going to be playing over there, but, you know, they'll be in Miami this weekend. See what happens with that. So, but we got Double or Nothing this Sunday night. Should be great. Saturday night's main event this Saturday night on Peacock. Wish it was on NBC, but, yeah. Not that I'm going to watch it anyway. The card's not even looking that great. But we'll get to that in a minute. But, so, we'll see what happens to that with that. What happens tonight on NXT and everything else. But I hope you had a great day, and if not, well, try again tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. As we're getting closer to the unofficial start of the summer, which is this weekend, but the official start of summer, pretty much about a month away. So, we are getting to the summer. It's going to get hot. Hopefully no hurricanes. Hurricane season's almost starting. But from what I heard, you know, I think it's El Nino or Nino. I don't even know which one. I don't care. But they're saying that, you know, since one of them is up this year, we're not going to get many hurricanes. Maybe not many major hurricanes. So for all you people living in Puerto Rico, you know, Isa and company, and the Bahamas, Bermuda, maybe around the Carolinas and Florida, and even in the other island territories in the Caribbean, you might not see a major hurricane this year. That's kind of nice, but you might get a hurricane or two. Not too big, like maybe a Cat 2, possible Cat 3, nothing like a Cat 5. But who knows? We'll see what happens as we get into the summer months. And by the time, you know, it doesn't end until like Halloween. So between now and Halloween, we have to look at the tropics a little bit, but we'll see what happens with that. But here in the Northeast, we got nothing to worry about for now. Except for some thunder boomers and, you know, some, maybe, depending on where you live, maybe a tornado or two. But usually that's in the, you know, Kansas and Iowa area, and Texas, yeah, and Mississippi and Alabama. All those Midwest Southern states always get the tornadoes. Not so much here in the Northeast, not that much, but in Jersey maybe, but, you know. Alright, enough about the weather, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for your official WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix review for last night, May the 18th, 2026, and we are emanating from the First Horizon Coliseum in that great city of Greensboro. No, not Alabama, but North Carolina. I wish it was in Greensboro, Alabama. I don't think we're going to hit Alabama yet, but we got that. Alright, as always on Monday Night Raw, our commentary team of the legend that he is, Michael Cole and Corey Slave. Because he's a slave to his own fucking spot. Pittsburgh idiot, but I digress. Steelers suck there, Corey, and so do your fucking Penguins, and so do the Steelers. Well, the Steelers, we all know, do suck, but Penguins suck. Pirates suck. They have a good record, but you know how the Pirates end. Under 500, not making the playoffs. Hey, the Mets are only 5 games under 500. They're making a comeback. This month has been great for the Mets. They won, I think, last 6 or 7. They had a 5-1 homestand. Won last night, 16-7 in 12 innings, and about to start. They had a rain delay. Now they're about to start Game 2 of 4 in Washington, D.C. See what Nolan McLean can do tonight. Hopefully annihilate him. And, we're getting closer to, second place. I know Atlanta won today again. Don't worry, JD. Your team is gonna, like the Knicks will be tonight. Well, I doubt that, but And Knicks and Cavs tonight at 8 o'clock, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Madison Square Garden, the mecca of all sports. See what happens tonight with the Knicks. I think the Spurs won last night, Game 1 of the West Finals, so we could see the Knicks and Spurs meet up in the NBA Finals. We could see a NBA what was that stupid fucking title? The NBA Cup rematch, where the Knicks won that piece of tin that don't mean shit. Yeah, we got a little trophy, yay! That don't mean shit. You haven't won in 44 years. Kiss my ass. We're 54 years. I should take that. I added it wrong. 54 years. The Knicks haven't won a goddamn title. And counting. So we'll see what happens with that. But Knicks fans, you might have an interesting series with the Cavs. I think the Spurs and OKC are going to go 7. But we'll see. But Spurs won last night, I believe, and they're up 1-0. See what the Knicks do tonight. That's that. But we move on. Excuse me. Alright, let's get back to Raw on Netflix. So we opened up Raw last night with a recap of the brawl between our Tribal Chief. Put up your ones for the Tribal Chief, and every day, twice on Sundays, acknowledge the man, because you have to, the World Heavyweight Champion, and Jacob Fatu. Mean? Get the guy is all gas, no brakes. He's a maniac, but we love him anyway. So we saw the brawl last week where Jacob basically left Roman and the Usos laying. So we saw that. Then we see Roman arrive to the building, gets his belt from the douchebag stagehand, because it's always there. You know, he doesn't carry it with him on the plane or anything like that. So Anna Pierce, like last week, stopped him and says, you know, if you would have listened to me last week, none of this would happen. Fuck you, Adam Pierce. Fuck you. So Roman says, well, that don't matter, because I'm going to call Jacob right here, right now. So Adam's like, I know, you want him fired, I want him fired for what happened last week. And then we hear Jacob's music playing in the arena. I'm like, uh-oh. So Jacob comes out to a bunch of boos, calls out the Tribal Chief, but instead gets the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Jay is pissed. Brings out a chair, and Jimmy's like, calm down, tranquilo, why are you so crazy? Take it easy. You know, somebody call Andrade. Shit. Anyway, so Jimmy calls out Jacob for not thinking and costing himself last week. Okay. Jacob attacked management. Now he's about to get fired. Then what? What are you going to do now? Are you going to feed your 11 kids? Are you going to go back to being your old self old self to help your family? What are you going to do? So Jay goes after him because he's an idiot. Jacob beats his ass, then grabs a Tongan death grip on Jimmy. Jay tries and fails with a chair shot to the back. That just angers Jacob even more. He gets the Tongan death grip, choked out. Fans are chanting for the OTC. He finally comes out. Big fight starts. Roman even throws in a big boot. Haven't seen that in a while. Then the Superman punch is countered again. Roman, you need to stop doing the Superman punch. I'm serious. Because it gets countered to the Tongan death grip. And the Usos have to make the save with some super kicks. Then a superfly splash. And then the 1D. Kind of like the 3D, but it's the 1D. Puts Jacob down, and then the Usos tie Jacob in the ropes. And then Roman, this time, well, he hits the Superman punches now that Jacob can't, grab his throat or anything. Superman punch 1, Superman punch 2, super kicks galore. It's a super kick party! Where are the Young Bucks? Anyway. Then a big-time spear by my Tribal Chief lays out Jacob, and then, Adam Pearce comes out, and Roman says, I don't know, he said something to Pearce. He's like, oh, see what I did? See what I did? So Pearce is like, Jacob? And he's about to go, yeah! And Jacob's like Roman, tribal combat. So Jacob wants tribal combat. We've seen that before with Roman and Cody. Roman lost that. Roman beat Solo on the Netflix premiere, I believe. Yeah. I think it was the Netflix premiere. I don't think it was the second anniversary. But whatever it was. Roman won that tribal combat. Got his Ula Fala back. Made Solo acknowledge him. Stuff like that. So now we're doing it again. The third tribal combat match in WWE history. Roman versus Jacob at Clash in Italy for the World Heavyweight title. So Pearce is trying to tell Roman, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And Roman's like, give it a fucking mic, you fucking bald idiot. And then Roman's like, I accept. Drop the mic. So, we'll see what happens on, I don't know if Jacob's going to be appearing on Friday Night SmackDown, but this Monday night, on the Memorial Day edition of Monday Night Raw, from Columbus, I think it's Columbus, Ohio. I don't even remember. Wherever we're going to be on Monday Night Raw, before we go to Italy, Roman and Jacob probably sign a contract or do something. It's going to be insane. That match is going to be insane on next Sunday afternoon. Along with Cody and Walter. And we got a special match coming up. Oh, I am invested. I am interested. I'm interested in Clash in Italy. It is going to be a banger. And what better place to have it in one of the greatest countries in the world next to the United States, and that's Italy. Viva l'Italia! Suck a dick, Canada. And the UK. Ha 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 ha! You get shit! And that's pretty much it. Alright, moving on. Alright, then we get a video for JD McDumbfuck. He's going to be taking on Fiend Balor in a street fight. So, JD wants revenge after what happened last week where Finn bashed his head like a ping pong ball, or a pinball, boing, 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 you know, and all the memes, which are funny as hell, set to different songs with, you know, drum beats like We Will Rock You. That was kind of funny. I like that. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, then we get to the street fight between Fiend Balor and JD McDumbfuck. This was epic. They go into the crowd. Finn throws them again into some equipment cases. And JD McDumbfuck drives them back into that as well. Goes to the top of the case and hits a beautiful moonsault. We go to break. We come back. They're fighting again. We get a release rock bottom on a chair. Ow. And they're just beating the living crap out of each other. And then, since it's a street fight, anything goes, we get the Triple A Mega Champion and Eddie's son, Dominic Guerrero de Cepero. He comes out, Eddie, did you see your son? Of course I saw my son. We got satellite TV up here. Is it in Spanish? Of course. Oh, you got the Lucha Libre Telemundo Televisión Excelente. In heaven, eh? You crazy, ese Mr. Joseph Esipero. I know, thank you. I've had a lot to drink. I mean, not beer. I mean, you know, Pepsi. There's nothing in here. Nothing in here. There's nothing in here. He said it himself. Okay. Thank you, Eddie. I'm gonna put an order in for some sangria later. The missus wants some. Okay, I'll tell him, what's his name? I forgot his name. I'll tell him. Okay. Thank you. Alright, so Dom comes out, breaks up the coup de grace through the table, and then JD goes up top, hits a top rope, superplex through the table. Damn, that had explode. And somehow Finn Balor kicked out at 2. The fans like, yeah, he kicked out, yeah. Okay. And then Dom loads up the 619, but oops, hit JD McDumpfuck in the face instead. My son never makes a mistake. Oh, he made a mistake last night there, Eddie. Well, if that dumb idiot pendejo JD Mc what's his name would have moved, he would have made that mistake, I say. Okay, we get that. Anyway. So Dom gets kicked in the, JD gets kicked in the face. Dom gets knocked to the outside. Then Finn goes up top. He uses some trash cans and, whips the crap out of JD McDumpfuck with the trash can over his head and everything. And then he goes up top, hits the coup de grace on the trash can. Ow! 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor gets the win in under 12 minutes. Great fight. Well, as Celebrity Deathmatch would say, good fight, good night. I'm Johnny Gomez, and I'm Nick Diamond. I missed that show. But good fight, 3.25 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. We move on. Well, Finn, still looking to get back at Dom, so we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we can look back at Seth freaking Rollins helping the Street Profits, Angel Dawkins and Montez Ford last week. And then, the Aftermath segment where they're not interested in his help. So that leads to Seth freaking Rollins with Kathy Kelly. So he comes out, he doesn't come out. Talks to Kathy saying, I have to finish things with the vision, and sometimes the best thing to do is run right at your problem. Well, sometimes that's not the greatest idea. But anyway, so it's about not having a singles match on Raw in about 9 months. Damn. So we're going to fix that, and he's going to take on one member of the Vision. He'd like to be Braun Breaker, who says he can do it on his own. But what are you, Braun? Are you a Nepo baby, or everything that you're supposed to be? Nepo baby, okay. Damn. So basically, Seth says, Braun, tonight's your. So that take it back. Seth says tonight, Braun, you have a chance to show me who you really are. So, are we gonna get Seth and Braun Part 2? Electric Boogaloo? No. We get Seth Rollins and Austin Theory in the main event. Joy. Great. We move on. Alright. Then we have a double segment. We have the resident surfer girl who snatches your soul. Sol Ruka, excited to have done well in her small time on Monday Night Raw. And then the Women's Intercontinental Champion, The Man! Becky Lynch. She comes in, doesn't really think much of Sol's efforts so far. She hasn't even faced the best of the best. You're not the best. Vegeta even said it. Kakarot! You are the best, but you're not better than me. Okay. Because you don't eat sprinkles! Vegeta would fuck up Goku any day of the week. I don't care if Goku goes Ultra Instinct or Grandmaster Ultra Instinct. Vegeta would just whip him in Ultra Grandmaster Ultra Ego. Fuck Goku. Kakarot. Yeah, his name sounds like Kakarot, but whatever. Anyway, so Becky says you should go back to NXT. Which Sol's like, oh, maybe I'll do that. Good. So Becky calls her a quitter, and then Sol's out of the picture. Then we see her go to the ring and calls Becky out. Why didn't you just call her out in the back? I don't get it. Why do we have to be public about everything? But anyway, Becky comes out and she's like, what are you trying to pull here? So Sol's like, I want to face you right here, right now. Becky's like, nope, not gonna do it. And then says, you want to be a star, you want to be the greatest, well, welcome to the big time. And then she's like, pfft. And so I was like, I'm sick of this shit. And then Becky has to start over again. I'm like, what is this? And then Becky's like, okay, I'll give you a match this Saturday at Saturday's main event. I don't know if it's for the title or not. It is for the title. So it's like, put the title on the line. But that's a little bit too far for Becky, who says Sol hasn't earned a shot, a fair shot. So, yeah, you get no title shot. So, Sol versus Becky, non-title. We'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, then the Vision are in their locker room. They ask the wise man, Paul Heyman, about Saturday's main event, where Austin Theory and Logan Paul will defend their tag team belts against the Profits, the Street Profits. Braun Breaker comes in, says, make the match, or tells Paul Heyman, make the match with me and Seth for the main event. Heyman's like, nope, not gonna do it. Austin Theory gets that. So then Braun asks Theory and Logan to leave. So they leave. And Braun insists, I can beat Seth. I beat him before at WrestleMania. And Heyman's like, yeah, I agree, but Rollins is gonna be a little bit busy. You know. He's gonna be a little bit busy. So Braun's like, and you will know it in advance. Braun's like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there, wise man. You're a good wise man. So we think. Oh, we get that. Alright, so we move on with that. Alright, six-man tag team match, Tornado Rules. So we got the Battle of the Americanos. So we have the fake Americanos, Chad Gable, and the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus. Or, Julio and Bruto. Not Bluto from Popeye, but Bruto. They take on the actual Grande Americanos, and that's Ludwig Kaiser, Ludwig Spears, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Rayo and Bravo. This was kind of wild and crazy. It was, Eddie loved it, right, Eddie? Oh, it was amazing, but I was kind of confused. Who the fuck are all these luchadors and all the masks? I was confused on who was in the ring. Yeah, I was too. I was like, which one's which? I don't get it, S.A. I don't get it. Well, you never wore a mask in your life. Oh, yes, you did. I forgot you wore a tiger mask back in Japan. I didn't like that mask anyway. I don't even like Rey Mysterio's mask. That's Pit Gay. Okay, we know we don't like Bray. Stop it. Anyway, moving on. And I'm not talking to myself. I'm just doing impressions, so fuck you. So at one point, we got a triple German suplex. And Corey Graves like, hey Cole, there are no Germans in the ring. We have 6 Mexicans. Yikes. So we get that. And then a triple moonsault gets a triple near fall on Grande Los Americanos, but then Pluto gets headbutted down because, they're using the metal shit. Excuse me. And then Ludwig Spears running headbutt with 2 more from the Raymond Bravo. 1, 2, 3, the actual El Grande Americanos, Ludwig Spears, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Raymond Bravo. They get the win in a little over 10.5 minutes. Wild. It was crazy. And we'll see what happens next Saturday night at Noches de los Grandes in that mask versus mask match between Chad Gable and Ludwig Spears. We all know who is under the mask, but now we're going to find out who's going to get that mask actually taken off. Not that it matters, but we get that. And we move on. Alright, then we get some weird segment to talk about DoorDash, which is like a sponsor to WWE and everything. And we see some guy dressed up like a Trojan soldier, I think it was, delivers Whataburger to Alpha Academy, Otis and Tozawa. You know how Otis loves that. He loves Whataburgers. Shit. Not that I want one, but I could go for a nice tasty burger. Not that I won't gonna have one tonight, because I got, you know, the spaghetti and meatballs tonight, so. That's a spicy meatball, you know. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a tasty burger. Burger. We got that, but, yeah. So, you know, Otis is happy about that, because he's fat! That son of a bitch is fucking fat! I'll make him bleed! Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. That guy's fat! He's fat! Fucking fat! Fat asses! Okay. Moving on. Alright, then we can look back at the bloodline. Jacob beating the crap out of Jacob earlier on. And, it is official tribal combat between Roman and Jacob, official for Clash in Italy. Let me get that. Then we get a video on that, on what tribal combat is. Like we didn't know. Okay. And then the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, know what tribal combat is all about. And then this guy, we haven't seen him in a while, Eli Drake. That's not an insult. That's a fact of life. Yeah, dummy. He comes in and interrupts, and Jimmy's like, not now. And then Eli's like, or what? And then he calls them out for doing the same things the three of them beat up the Vision for doing at WrestleMania. So he's like, what the hell's the difference here? Jay don't give a shit. And then we see Jimmy go, not now. So why was Eli Drake even there? I mean, he's gonna get released. I mean, Hunter doesn't like him. We all know that. He's said it himself. I do not like Eli Drake. So why wasn't he one of the releases in the Spring Clean? Why wasn't he released? Oh, he wants to have his WrestleMania moment, right? I think Eli Drake's going back to TNA, or he's going to go to AEW. I mean, I don't even know what Tony Khan would do with the guy. Send him back to Eli, maybe give him back his dummy, gimmick, even though that's TNA. I guess that's his thing. It's not copyrighted, except by him, but who knows? Who knows? Who cares about Eli Drake at this point? I like him, but, just there. You're just there for attraction. When you're not making a good impression. But that's it. Alright, then we got a sit-down interview with Michael Cole and Ego, Ethan Page to the pose, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. So Ethan brags about himself. We got a pre-written statement that Cole reads, and he has to praise Ethan's jawline. Okay. But can't get over Ethan wanting to rename the Intercontinental title as the Ethan Page Championship? No, Ethan. No. We already renamed the North American title the Canadian National title. We're not going to do this again. So, Cole's like, you know what? I worked here for 30 years and blah, 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 and I've seen some egos, but you got a big ego. So he goes to leave. Well, he doesn't leave. He asks Paige, why do you act like this? But then he's like, why do you act like this? You have great skills, but your ego is going to cost you on Saturday night. I doubt that. So Ethan calls it confidence rather than ego, and he's going to prove it this Saturday night against Pentagon Zero Miedo. Ethan's just nailing his gimmick right now. It's great. Does that make him win the title this Saturday? Good possibility. I mean, if he loses, then I was like, alright, maybe he wins on a random Raw, or maybe they go all the way to Night of Champions. We'll see, but I don't know. I don't know, Cliff. Who's Cliff? So we got we have that, and we move on. Alrighty. We move on with that. Yeah. Alright, after that, we get to the women's tag team titles on the line. We have the beautiful Paige, Rose's favorite women's wrestler of all time. Now, I know you like her. I like her mom, too. I met her mom. I did. She's a nice lady. We're the same age as us. But, yeah, I forgot you're 21. Anyway. So, Paige and Brie Bella take on the Judgment Day of, of Raquel Rodriguez and the lovely Roxanne Perez with the Women's World Heavyweight Champion the World Women's Champion, I should say. The woman is Trouble, that's me. Liv Morgan looking amazing. I heard she might recreate her epic theme and her entrance like she had at WrestleMania. She might do it again at SummerSlam. Please do. Please do it. Please do it, Liv. And next time sit on my lap. Alright. So the match wasn't anything great. Liv really didn't get involved much. She tried to get involved near the end, and Morgan shoved Brie off. Referee didn't see it, and then actually he kind of did see it, and he was like, "You are out temporarily." So then Raquel tries for a belt shot. Brie Bella cut that off. Fruit roll up to Roxanne Perez, 1, 2, 3, and still the women's tag team champions. I was like, why? Why couldn't we just DQ would have been fine? No. So Brie and Paige still the champs, but then after the match, Liv comes back out through a 3-on-1 beatdown. I'm like, who's gonna save them? Well, these two lovely ladies, Bayley. Give me a hug. Who wants to go to TNA? I heard. I don't blame her. You should. Bayley and Rosemary. I'm interested. And then the bird lady, Light Up a Kitty and Lassie Beach from Ireland. They come out, make the save. So we got a lot of tag teams going after Brie and Paige. You got Lyra and Bayley now. We got Charlotte and Lexi. We got Raquel and Roxanne. And don't forget the BBLs, the big beautiful ladies of Lash Legend and Nia Jax, the former champs. So it's getting a little dicey in the women's tag team division. Love it. Moving on. Alright, then we go to the parking lot, the dreaded parking lot area. Eli Drake. He comes up to Seth Rollins and says, I could do this. I could do this myself, later on. But, it's going to end badly. So he's like, so Seth, you need help? Good luck getting stomped out. So much for help. Okay. And we get that. Yeah. We move on. We move on with that. Alright, they'll get a video for Pentagon Zero Miedo. He's sick of Ethan wanting the Intercontinental title all for himself, and he's gonna take care of Ethan on Saturday. We'll see. I got that. Then, the segment that we're all talking about, ladies and gentlemen, from last night, we got the Buddha, who, the Destroyer, who, the Brain of War, who, the mountain you cannot conquer, who, that's Oba, who, Femi, the man from Wakanda. He comes out for his open challenge. He is struck to the ring with his big old anal beads that look like red balls if you play bumper pool. So, he gets in the ring, does his little pose, the lights go out, then he gets attacked by, we don't know who. I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be him. He's retired. No, it's Brock Lesnar. He's back, lays out Oba with not one, not two, not even three, 4 F5s. If you see my short on my Peter Joseph channel, you know. Thank you for watching that. So, yeah, we were all crying when Brock retired in the ring. He put his boots in the ring, left, did the whole thing like this, took the Heyman. We all thought we're never going to see Brock again. We had the hope that he might come back for one more match in his hometown of Minneapolis at SummerSlam. Welp, we got royally swerved, bro. Let me say like Vince Russo. Swerved, bro. We got swerved by Triple H and Brock. Beastie swerved us all. And now we're getting Beastie Oba 2 Electric Boogaloo in Italy for Clash. I love it. But I think Brock is going to beat Oba, get his win back for WrestleMania. Then we're doing it for the final time at SummerSlam. Oba's going to beat Brock in his hometown and officially retire him. I mean, officially. I mean, Brock will be done. Done, you don't come back unexpectedly. You are done. Unless you come back for the Hall of Fame. So that's that. I mean, light up. Alright, let me put on channel 11, put on the CW, because we're 2 minutes away from NXT. We get that. But, yeah, Beastie coming back. I mean, yeah, I marked out for it, but I was like, wow. I thought you were dead. You were done. No. I'm not done. I'm the Beast. But that match is going to be a banger. I mean, the card already looks great for Clash in Italy. Roman and Jacob Tribal Combat. Oba, Beastie 2. Cody and Walter for the world title. And a whole lot more. Probably 2 or 3 more matches, maybe. I mean, we'll see. Whatever comes out of after Friday and Saturday, and pretty much Monday, we'll get the official card by next Friday, as SmackDown will be, I believe, in Barcelona. So, fire up your VPN next Friday at 2 p.m. Because we're not getting to get it live. We're getting the tape delay next Friday night. So, we get that. Move on. Alright, then the Street Profits are ready for the Vision because they had the vision of winning the tag team titles this Saturday night. Maybe win it, maybe not. See, Angelo Dawkins gets distracted because he sees Seth. Montez is like, well, if you want to go have fun. So Dawkins goes over to Seth, thanks him for the last week, even though he basically threw him right into Braun, spearing his ass last week. Oh, yeah, thank him for that. So then Seth thanks him for that as well, apologizes for last week, and I gotta get ready for my match with Austin Theory. And then Montez basically was saying, don't go out to help him. We are not going out to help him. And as we all know, when somebody tells you not to do something, you do it anyway. Right? Don't be a Ray. Don't be a Ray, ladies and gentlemen. Ray, when somebody tells you if you're a god, you say yes! I couldn't help it. Fuck you, Ray! Don't be a Ray. Do not be a Ray from Ghostbusters. Please. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Alright, NXT's about to start. We got that. Alright, so we get to the main event. Seth freaking Rollins and Austin Theory. Logan Paul at ringside. I don't know. We didn't see the Wise Man at ringside. It was a pretty decent match for what it's worth. I don't know how the, basically just under 13 minutes. And Theory slips in with the brass knucks. Rollins super kicks Theory instead. And then Rollins gets the brass knucks. Referee, I think, was knocked out, or I don't know what happened to the ref. He knocks Logan Paul out. Then he grabs a pedigree. 1, 2, 3, he beats Austin Theory one-on-one in just under 13 minutes. Alright, so we got the tag team titles for NXT tonight. The Vanity Project, Brett Baylor, Brad, Baylor, and Ricky Smokes taking on Shaquan Sugars and Dion Lennox of Dark State. Lizzie Rain gets her NXT Women's title shot against the creepy girl Tatum Paxley. See what happens with that. That should be an interesting match. But we're going to start off with, I have no idea. Oh, we got Miles and Shiloh, I think, right now, right? I think it's Miles and Shiloh. Miles, will call him Ozzy Osbourne, is here to defend the belt. Oh yeah, he's giving Shiloh, I think, a shot. I forget who he's... I think it's Shiloh, I forget. But here's Miles, will call him Ozzy Osbourne to defend the men's North American title. He weighs a paltry 220 pounds. Yeah, I weigh 145, 150, so... But I'm good. I look good for 150. Alright, so Stephanie Becker, La Pimenda's boyfriend, is here to defend the belt. So... Who's he taking on? Oh, it's Tony D! Tony D is here. Well, this is unexpected. I thought Tony D was not fighting Miles. I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe just doing a segment. I don't think they're fighting. Oh, there's a tag team match. Forgot. Oh, that's right. Right, okay. So it's Miles and my cousin, Tony D. I think they're taking on, Oh, yes, I think they're taking on Mason Rook and, Cam Hendricks. No, Anthony Luke. So we got that. So we got Mason Rook, we got Anthony Luke, Maxine Dupree's husband, or so we think. I think, her and Austin Theory are fucking, but who knows. So we got that. And his tag team partner, the guy who's big, he's bad, he'll body slam your dad. Pretty much. That's Mason Rook. Okay, so Anthony Luke's actual NXT debut, in-ring debut, and then Mason Rook, the guy that's big, he's bad, he'll body slam your dad, taking on the NXT World Champion Tony D, my cousin, and the NXT North American Champion, Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne. So, should be good. I mean, Mason Rook is getting over with the crowd. I mean, he got over with John Cena, and now he's getting way over. Way over with the crowd. He's big, he's bad, and he will body slam your dad. So, we get that. Alright, so Seth Rollins beats Austin Theory. And, after the match, Logan Paul comes in, 2-on-1 beatdown, and then the guy who Montez Ford said, don't go out there. Well, Angelo Dawkins is like, well, I'm going out there anyway. He goes out there for the save. Montez comes out for another save, then a big flippy dippity-doo knocks out most of the Vision. Well, basically Logan and Austin Theory. Then he goes inside and says, Dog, what did I tell you not to do? Why are you here? We don't need Seth. So then, out of nowhere, Braun Breaker speeds down to the ring like a missile. Boom! Destroys Montez Ford. Bianca Belair. You might not have a baby daddy. That baby daddy gonna be, he is fucked up. So yeah, super speed of Montez. Rollins makes a save. Logan Paul grabs his leg, allows Braun to spear the fuck out of him again. And then security and agents and referees come out. But Braun drops Seth again. And then Adam Pearce comes out. It's like, I told you I am sick of this shit. And then he threatens the Vision with, like, firing him, and basically Braun and them, like, what are you gonna do? Fuck you, man! You trying to be the prophecy, you know, telling people, fuck you, man! No, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's copyright. So, yeah. Pay up, bitches. And that's pretty much it. Let me move on with that. But, not a great ending. Kind of rinse and repeat with Braun Breaker and company. So, we saw what happened, like, last week. Jacob destroying the Usos and my tribal chief. This week, we get the same thing, almost. Just Braun, just annihilating Seth and the Prophets. Basically the same fucking thing. So, not a great ending to the show, but overall, the show was, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was great with the surprise of Brock. I thought it was great. So, I gave it a pretty damn good, and this is not being biased or anything. This is my feeling. 8 out of 10 stars for Monday Night Raw. I liked it, and I hope you did too. Let me know leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section, and like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, I'm gonna watch this match. My cousin's in against the big fat man, Mason Rook. He's big. He's bad. He'll probably slam Tony D's dad. Probably. We'll get that. He'll probably slam your dad too. Who knows? But don't mess with the man. And that's pretty much it. You know, his father was a pawn, right? His father was Knight Pawn! No, I don't know. I'm making that up. Anyway. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that damn big backsplash. Almost pinned the NXT World Champion. So. Now, Tony D, you know, Tony D's trying to make a comeback. Yeah, you're going to pick up that guy, Tony. You know, he's a big spicy meatball. That spicy big chunk of beef. Beef! So what's for dinner? Well, we're not having beef for dinner tonight, but I'm having, technically, I'm having spaghetti and meatballs. But I digress. Alright, so I'm going to get out of here, watch NXT. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, once again, 8 out of 10 social raw. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe and all that other good shit. But until next time, if you're not down with that, well, I'm not big and I'm not bad, but I will probably body slam your dad, and then I will plow your mom. But until next time, my friends, if you're not down with that, fuck you, man. And that's it. We out. Peace.